Hey, there we are. We're back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is August 15th, 2019. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Huh? Oh my goodness. We're back in the friendly confines of the Fritz Home Studios. Let's say hello to, there's Sean in the chat room. Got virtualized. Good afternoon from Germany. Guten Nachmittag, Deutschland. Great to see you. Lannon's here. Andres is here. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Smab, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. My apologies for cutting yesterday's stream. So much was going on. I was in Seattle. I was at Redmond, home of Microsoft, with just a stack of meetings, and I was not going to be able to deliver a good show and still be able to make it to my meetings and be able to present myself properly, as it were. So I'm wearing my geek hat today because we're going to geek out today. We're going to get into a lot of stuff about ASP.NET Core 3 and Preview 8 that was just released yesterday. Yesterday, the day before, Tuesday, it came out. Let's see. Oh my gosh, looking at the chat room, Raw415. Good morning from Brooklyn. Well, good morning to you in Brooklyn as well. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us. JAF1021 is here. Good morning to you. Yes, I am awake. I took the red eye home. I flew the red eye home from Seattle to Philadelphia, and I normally play my Going Back to Philly song. I have no idea where that echo is, and I fight it. It always happens with the first announcement on this. Thank you so much, Maz, for that resub. 15 months! 15 months at Tier 3! Oh my gosh. Tier 3, we juggled up our emotes a little bit. You've also got the sleeping bot and the laughing bot emotes. Thank you so much for your very kind support, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. They're trying to help folks everywhere learn how to advance their technical careers, building facilities, training trainers all around the world. Thank you so much for that, and we'll continue to make those contributions. There they are. There's the new emotes. So what was I saying? So I flew the red eye home from Seattle last night. I actually slept really well. I normally fly exit row, and I had exit row on an aisle, and I slept like a baby last night. It was great. Musical Bookworm, good morning. Copper Beardy, you forgot you had the volume so loud for the music. Oh, sorry. My bad. I don't think this number over here, that 7294, is not correct. We get folks follow and unfollow, and Stream Elements doesn't quite follow that properly. It's 7284. That, of course, is our number that we're tracking. If we can get that to 8,000, my promise to you, if we get that to 8,000 before September 15th, I will dye my beard rainbow for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. I'll be at both of those events, and I have hosting duties. I have sessions to deliver at both of them. It's going to be tremendous, all right? And I'll have a rainbow beard as a salute to you, our Twitch community. I'm going to reach over here real quick and see if we can fix that number on the gauge. There it is. It's supposed to be 7284. Fantastic. All right. Let's see here. I have something here that I need to address real quick. Pardon me. Let me see here. There we go. Got that taken care of. All right. Moving on. Important emails I need to respond to almost immediately. You need to think of a new rainbow troll idea, says Smab. Frackberg, good morning, our fellow pair programmers. Yes, absolutely. And all of our subscribers, yeah, when you put those emotes up, they'll go flying over our face here. That's what you get as a subscriber. In addition to actually having the emotes, you can throw emotes at me, okay? So, that was my week. How was yours? Landon says, oh yeah, speaking of conferences, submitted talk to a conference about 2 hours away, and the talk was accepted. Oh my gosh, Landon, congratulations to you. That is phenomenal. Always love hearing folks getting their chance speaking in the technical community, stepping out, not just getting a career, but advancing and getting in. Some of the folks that are leading and are really good developers, congratulations to you. That is tremendous to hear. Yeah, darn Skippy indeed, Copper Beardy. So, all right. I want to talk about ASP.NET Core 3.0 Preview 8. 3.0 Preview 8. Yeah, let's head over to the code view. There it is. Look at that. I got my entire studio set back up here at home. Didn't have to juggle anything when we got started here. Let me get some music playing in the background as we start talking about what happened here, and we talk about the framework a little bit. I'm going to play. I don't know. Eeny, meeny. Let's play this one. This is called Judson. There we go. This is part of Music to Code By. This is groovy music that's been scientifically designed. It's been engineered to get you in the groove, to get you focused on whatever task it is that you might be working on. You get into that state of flow. There's about 19, 20 different songs that are available for you at mtcb.pwop.com, and they'll help you get focused, whether it's coding, homework, yard work, chores around the house, whatever. Check it out. Get your copy today, and you can even execute the music command there in the chat room and get the link. Thanks so much, everybody, for enjoying the music, and thank you to Carl Franklin for writing the music and letting us share it with you here on stream. All right. Speaking. Oh, yes. New toys, Binary Chef. New toys indeed. Electric Havoc. Great to see you. So, we've been working with ASP.NET Core version 3 in its preview versions as it's been being released here over the last few months. ASP.NET Core, as we know, is a cross-platform development framework that we can use to build applications, web applications, desktop applications, console applications, and .NET Core works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. ASP.NET Core, you can build web applications on all three of those environments, and that's what we've been doing. The 3.0 version, which is scheduled to be released at .NET Conf. Now, at .NET Conf is kind of a misnomer. It's a virtual event that you're going to be able to watch live right here on Twitch. There's 2 days of Microsoft presenters and a third day, 2 days of 8 hours of Microsoft presenters, 16 hours of that. The third day, we're going 24 hours straight, non-stop, overnight. Well, overnight for me, but real time for some of you folks. And we'll be at normal times in your time zone with folks from your part of the world presenting. We're finishing up the content review this week, and we'll have an announcement of what that looks like next week. We're really excited. It's going to be tremendous. And we're going to be we'll be releasing ASP.NET Core 3.0 at that event. So so the Preview 8 version was released. You'll notice the preview numbers line up with the month number, right? Preview 8 came out in August. See that? They actually planned that well, okay? They actually got that lined up pretty well so that you don't have to think too much about when these things came out. Licensing wise, it has a go live license. You can build with this, deploy it, and Microsoft will support you while Preview 8 is still the current version, but it's a preview. As we get to that release version, when the release version comes out, you're going to have to upgrade if you want to continue support, okay? That's right. It doesn't make sense to support a preview version for several months past the official version being released, right? We want to make sure everybody's on track and using the latest and greatest as it's made available. So, this is Preview 8, and there's a couple changes that we need to take a look at. We'll need to address, we'll need to dial into our projects here. And there's an update that corresponds with this for Visual Studio. So I just finished, literally just. I've been talking so long here because I've been waiting to try and make sure that the update for our Visual Studio 2019 preview was installed. So preview 2.0, 16.3 preview 2.0, 16.3 is the version that will be released at .NET Conf that has all the support for .NET Core 3, ASP.NET Core 3. Okay. So, you don't have to, and of course, you don't have to use Visual Studio. You can use Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever text editor you like. I know some folks like using Vim, Emacs, Sublime, whatever makes you happy. And there's a great set of command line tools that you can use along with that. So I've installed the latest version of Visual Studio, got that running. Hey, Fanny Reinders is here. Hello. You can use Notepad. You can use Nano. Oh, here come all the comments about the various text editors you can use. Look at this. Look at this. I'm being trolled in the chat room, friends. But with all these different text editors, that's right. You can use any one you want. So .NET Core 3 Preview 8, right? And here's the information about the .NET framework, right? ASP.NET Core is a web framework that runs on top of .NET Core. And .NET Core runs on all those environments. So we need to make sure that we download the SDK for that. So here it is, right? So this is .net.microsoft.com/download .NET Core, blah, blah, blah. There you go. There's a link for you.
C17R just resubscribed for 10 months. Keep up the good work.
Wow! 10 months. Thank you so much, C17R. I really appreciate that. And we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Poetic Android says butterflies. Yes, the butterflies went flying by. I noticed it. If I hadn't mentioned it, Vim would have triggered us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. President Not Sure just installed this yesterday so you could .NET Core 3 because I wanted to use Data Break. Yeah. Let's see here. What flavor of G Fuel are we sipping today? Ask K-Balls Bar. I'm drinking. This is Snow Cone that I'm drinking. I am this is not an advertisement. I am not sponsored. We're not sponsored by G Fuel. I just really like it, and I'll drink it here on stream. So, they did sponsor us for a couple of giveaways during the Halloween show. You remember the Halloween show? If you don't, go back. We had a bunch of spooky code things that we did, scary code things, and we gave away some G Fuel during that episode way long time ago. All right, data breakpoints. Yes. Let's get this thing downloaded. All right, so I'm going to grab the .NET Core X64 installer for Windows here because I'm running Windows. And you saw there's versions available here for Mac, Linux, and you can also see the checksums for it. So if you want just the runtime, because you're installing the runtime on a server somewhere, easy to grab that. But grab that SDK. Fixter Jake!
Fixter Jake 14 just resubscribed for 2 months. Wow, 2 months already.
Already! Thanks so much, Fixter Jake. I appreciate you joining us. And we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. That's phenomenal. Thank you very much. It must be a significant update. The installer's making your fan spin? Oh no. It shouldn't be. We're getting close to release here. Getting very close to release. So I'll click through the install. There goes my screen. Now it's back. Let's see how this does. So the installer now will remove the previous preview versions. I see what you're saying there, Smab, that it was provided by the SDK, by the .NET, I'm sorry. Oh, look, it's already there. So this should actually run through pretty quickly. There we go. We're good. You're on your Mac, says Binary Chef. Okay. So The .NET SDK now will uninstall other preview versions as it releases the point releases, right? So as 3.0 goes to final, it'll actually clean up and remove the preview versions from your machine. Because you don't need them. Use the latest version. You're okay. Admiral Kier asks, what's happening with Preview 8? We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Will release be a different upgrade from the preview, or will it be a full uninstall, reinstall? It'll be a full install, yeah. DevLead asks, how will this affect if you pinned a version in global JSON? It'll roll forward to the latest one, right? It'll find the closest match and make that available, right? So, I mean, let's take a look at that, right? So, I'm going to run .NET version just to make sure I'm still Preview 8 there, right? Because I ran it before I did the install and after, and they're both there. Let's go over to my resource management project, and I thought I had a global JSON here. Let's see. I thought there was a global JSON. We were also working on this project. This, I think, had there's a global JSON there. So 3.0.100 preview 5. So to DevLead's question, what happens now when we run the SDK here, right? Because if I say .NET info, it shows me here's all the versions that I have. And look, the only 3.0.100 version that I have is Preview 8. It removed all the other ones. Hey Lily, good to see you. The installer does not remove previous versions on Mac OS. It doesn't. Really? I thought it cleaned up these. Downloads, symbols, Docker images. I don't see the SDK reference here. It's supposed to clean up the previous versions. API diff, GitHub release. I don't see it. Interesting. Preview 7's still there. Huh. Yep, it will auto-clean itself, Frank. So, at least we saw it did on Windows. So the question was, well, what happens now if I'm over here in this project that was pinned to Preview 5? So let me try going down into Pixelbot Orchestrator is where this, is the top of this project. And if I .NET build here, right, it's going to do its first run thing here. It should, there we go. It still runs. It's running on Preview 8. It's still good. Right? Still doing the builds, but yeah, thanks, I know. Those things aren't available anymore. So it rolls forward is what it does, which is what you expect. So, and this is because it's in Preview 5 and the syntax for Blazor has changed since Preview 5. Let's go back into here and there. So there's my project. Visual Studio now cleans up installs if delivered by Visual Studio. If you install the SDK separately, it works like most other installations. Okay. So let's open the project in Visual Studio and start walking through the update. Yeah, this one. So, our friend Sarab put together the blog post that announces here's the changes, here's the updates. There's the link to the blog post that we're going to be looking at here. .NET Core 3 now has versions for APIs. Did that come out in this version? Well, you could version your APIs previously. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, you could version them, right? So, Razer page support for add attribute. Yes, that's a big one right there, right? Project template updates, cleaned up top level templates. Angular template updated to Angular 8. Blazor templates renamed and simplified. That's a big one. You're going to see a lot of movement on the Blazor templates, okay? And Blazor is the user interface framework that allows you to build and target WebAssembly, right? Or do something very similar with that component model, but run it on the server and keep a minimal amount of data trafficked back and forth between your server and the browser. You've got all the lag today. Hey, EcoMath, good to see you. So we got new templates, case-sensitive component binding. This one is going to trip us up. I know it is, because it was insensitive coming out of the HTML. Now they turned on the case sensitivity flag. That's going to be a little tricky. Improved reconnection logic for Blazor server apps. That's good, right? I mentioned it does this connection back and forth. It uses SignalR and WebSockets, right? So you end up with a two-way connection to the browser so that as things change, you can deploy it immediately to the browser. Navlink component updated to handle additional attributes. Cultural-aware data binding. That's a big one, I know, for a lot of our non-English speaking friends. Yep, Razer support for attribute. Of course, attribute lets you define features that you want to turn on, like authorize, right? You need to be authorized to use a page in the application. Authorize is an attribute. Well, now you can turn that on for a Razer page by using the attribute directive at the top of a Razer page. New networking primitives for non-HTTP servers. It's a little bit lower level. I don't want to dig into that too much, but okay, that might be important to you. Unix domain socket support for Kestrel sockets transport. That's only going to make Kestrel faster. gRPC support for call credentials, service reference tooling in Visual Studio, and diagnostic improvements for gRPC. Whew! Binary Chef says it's not a big deal, but still anticipating the day when VS Win and VS Mac have feature parity. It will never be exactly the same. No, because Mac and Windows are different. And they're getting there. They're moving in that direction. The Visual Studio and Visual Studio for Mac teams are cross-pollinating and sharing code now. I didn't want to scroll just yet. Oh, like that. Without knowing JavaScript, we can use Blazor. Absolutely. Hey, Fairy Wings. Hello. Did I sleep? Yes, I slept. I sleep on the red eye very well, and I slept quite nicely last night. I had an exit row seat, stretched out, and felt great this morning. Binary Chef's going to continue using VS Code. Awesome.
Codeman_codes just resubscribed for 5 months. Hey, how's it going?
Thanks so much, Codeman Codes. I appreciate the resub, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Awesome. Hey, Michael Jolly, good to see you. Fanny Reinders is working with Blazor on his stream as well. That is terrific. Chandu asks, does .NET Core 3 do anything related to WPF? Yes. .NET Core 3 has support for WPF and Windows Forms. We ran a stream with our friend Fierce Kittens, showing how to migrate an application. There's a lot more coming to that, and I've got some installation instructions that we can give to our friend Fierce Kittens so that she can set up and make her WPF WinForms application called GIFBot that plays some of the funny GIFs that you see on her channel, Fairy Wings channel, some other friends' channels. so that she can deploy that. Can you know what? Can I get a shout out for Fairy Wings and the Michael Jolly? Good to see you. I am not asleep right now. No, I'm doing it. Okay. From Preview 3, you're going to move from Blazor to Uno platform. Okay. That's great, Janescu, if that works for you. Some folks really like XAML. Some folks really like HTML. It's up to you. There you go. Thank you, Michael Jolly, for the help with that. Let's do... No, wait. Can I do... Yeah, there we go. We'll drop a shout out there. Z Lucian says, did Core 3 preview just come out today? It came out on Tuesday. It came out right in the middle of my stream when our guest was Phil Hack from GitHub, and we talked about source control and Git during that episode. New York 167, welcome. Thanks so much for the follow, and you're helping our follower goal here. 15 away from our next giveaway. Each time we get to a multiple of 100, I'll give away a sticker pack. I still have to send out last time's sticker pack. I have the stickers here. I need to get over to the post office. That's what it's called. That's right. You like the content here in New York. Thank you so much. I'm not going to get too critical that your name is New York and I'm a Philly guy, okay? We got a thing going on there. I don't... wow. Is that... Immortsai... Welcome? Hello? The mail place. The place that sends the mail. You put the letters in the box and it goes somewhere. I got to get to that place. The changes made it impossible for you to continue at Blazor. Really, Janescu? I'd like to hear more about what specifically. Chandu asks, what are some good WPF apps built? There's all kinds of WPF apps out there. You know, they
throw me a frickin' bone.
I don't know. People write all kinds of WPF apps. A lot of the applications you use on Windows that are not in the Windows Store, right? Not those UWP apps, are WPF apps. Visual Studio is a WPF app. Right. Where's that one?
Right.
Ah, thank you. I knew I had a Dr. Evil quote there for something. Okay.
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Are they? Are they really? Yes, Visual Studio is built on WPF since Visual Studio 2010. It's been built based on WPF. Binary Chef asks, is Blazor the latest attempt to kill JavaScript? Not saying it will be vaporware, but should we just abandon all hope of a JavaScript-free world? The horses should have come in when we heard the word. It's not an attempt to kill the programming language. You're never going to get away from it. JavaScript runs natively in the browser, and it's always going to be there. Always. Blazor just gives folks that want to target and deliver native applications that run in the browser a way to do that with C#. It's not killing that other programming language at all. See, I didn't say it because I didn't want to trigger the bot, right? Anyways, or the horses. So you have your, it's a choice, right? If it works great for you, fantastic. If you like C# and that's how you want to program, terrific. So, thank you for the follow, Bugman B. Welcome. Francis, you're absolutely right. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It's not. However, there are definitely some problems with the JavaScript community, the Node community, are getting a little carried away, and the size to do just an Angular Hello World application, it's hundreds of meg. It's tens of thousands of JavaScript files that are being loaded, parsed, packed. It's a lot. And you're downloading a lot of content to the browser. So there's a point here where we need to reconcile, and to have something that's going to challenge a programming language, a tool, and force people to make a choice means that programming language innovators will step up and meet the challenge. WebAssembly is separate from other programming languages. It's not dependent upon it, correct? That's right, Binary Chef. WebAssembly runs in the browser. Blazor runs on top of the Mono runtime, which has been specially recompiled so that it runs in WebAssembly. And we'll see that when we look at the code here in a minute. So, if you have the Mono runtime, right, and that's that long-standing .NET framework that our friend Miguel Diacaza piloted and built way back in the early 2000s, and it's still around. It runs a number of games, actually, that folks really enjoy. But it's been recompiled and it runs in the browser for you. So, WebAssembly needs far better DOM support to kill JS, to kill JavaScript. Yeah, there's stuff coming for that. And right, if you want to be able to manipulate things inside the browser, you do need to be able to access it, the document object model. Thank you to our new follower, Andre's. Welcome, Andre. Good to see you. I appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. There's Bugman B. Thanks for the heart. That's the fourth notification you've had on Amazon that you had a delivery. Yeah. Amazon and delivery notifications are an interesting thing. Because not only do you get the email, you might get a text message, you get the little yellow ring thing that happens on your Echo device, and you get the dog barking at the door because the delivery folks are here. You know what I mean? There's a comment here that TypeScript already killed JavaScript. No, disagree. Because TypeScript is dependent on JavaScript, in the same way that CoffeeScript is dependent on JavaScript. TypeScript is just a way for folks to write JavaScript in a strongly typed way, so that they can get some compiler support and be able to get a little extra checking in how they build their language. Yes, Blazor, Mr. Magoo, we're looking at Preview 8. We're going to upgrade here in just a second. Hey, Twitchloff, good to see you. The GitHub repo for Blazor is 85% shell scripts. I don't know. Honestly, I don't look at it. And they're moving the GitHub repo for Blazor. It's going to be consolidated in with the rest of ASP.NET as they move closer and closer to preparing for .NET 5. They're moving the source code so it's a little bit easier for folks to check out and manage all of the different framework components. Let's get into this. Let's talk about some of these features and how to do the update. Upgrade an existing project. So there are new template versions available here. You can .NET new-I, and this will install the latest version of the templates on your machine. Let's do that right now because I can. And then go do it. Make the thing. There they go. So there's my Blazor templates. Blazor server app, Blazor WebAssembly app. Oh, now it's called Blazor WASM. Look at that. All right. There was... Right, I don't see the Blazor hosted template anymore here. That'll be interesting. Right, but you can see, right, WPF features and WinForms features for .NET Core right here at the command line. Just joining says, Entity Adam, can I drop a link for the upgrade instructions? Not a problem. This is from the blog post announcing. Tell you what, I'm even going to put it in the project command. Jeff is investigating and upgrading to ASP.NET Core 3.0 Preview 8. Alright, and I'm going to change that to just ASP.NET Core. There we go. It's now -- hosted on the Blazor WASM template. Is it? See, I didn't even get down that far in the instructions. Right? Renamed and simplified. There you go. Look at this. Smab's already a page ahead of me here. Oh my gosh. So we have upgraded templates here. And some of these changes I'm not sure I would agree with when you issue a go live license version, right? I mean, you're still in preview, but some of these they're kind of mean. Changing on-init to on-initialized and on-init async to on-initialized async. That's kind of mean to change at this point in the game. I mean, you have to change it before you release it, if you're going to change it, but I'd be curious to hear what the rationalization is behind changing that name, because that's, I mean, okay, I get this is very English that you've changed it, that it's on-init, right? That might not mean something to some of our non-English speaking folks. So I get on initial. If that's the only reason for it, I mean, we've got init events in other places in the .NET frameworks. So I don't think that's... Yeah, Angular 2+, thank you, C17, uses init as well. So I think init was a legitimate thing there, and this is not necessary, and Devly kind of agrees. It's kind of mean to change something as basic as that event name at this point. Thank you for the follow, Invasion. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. I appreciate you joining us. 7289, 11 more followers, and we'll give away another sticker pack here, and we'll mail that out anywhere in the world. In fact, during our workshop, we gave away 6 sticker packs, and we even sent one to one of our viewers in Russia. We sent one to a viewer in the UK, and like I said, one to somebody in Russia. It is not a problem for me to send it anywhere in the world. Please don't feel excluded wherever you might be. It's not a problem. I want you to be able to participate and learn. Hey, Tabakarov, good to see you. I saw your message up there and just missed it. Frank's asking me, can you try .NET New Blazor WASM? I want to get through some of these other things, if you don't mind. I'll leave that as a feature for the viewers to step through. Yes, U.S. English, Fanny. I want to make sure, right, that I want to make sure that folks anywhere feel comfortable with some of these things that are happening. Also weird because most EF use on a net. Yes. Binary Chef has not been a big fan of web development in recent years. Oh, that's so sad. Flask on Python was disappointing me more every day. ASP.NET Core was a glimmer of hope on server side, but still couldn't escape the horse language. I see what you did there. That's a thing. The horse language. You know it. Give me a second. Blazor may be the best of both worlds. Yes, I think it will be, because when you take Blazor and you're able to compile it and run it with like an Electron.NET app, now you've completely built a desktop application that should be able to run on any environment. That's exciting. Chat room, let me ask you a question, and I want to get your honest feedback here. I've been playing with this gag where the horses come in and we get them neighing whenever I say JavaScript. And of course, there's a command in chat that you can use to trigger the horses as well if I forget to press the button. And it's strictly picking fun with that language. I'm a fan of it, but it's not the one that I prefer, and I'm continuing to poke fun. Yes, there's mobile development using the horse language also. So I gotta ask you, chat room, can you put a 1 in the chat room if every time you hear one of your colleagues say JavaScript, you hear in your head the horses neighing? The horses are not triggered automatically. No. Friends, I'm gonna switch settings over here just so you can see the chat room. Here they come. Yes, when you hear folks say JavaScript, do you hear the horse? Do you still cringe? Okay. And also for Go, says Tabakarov. I'm going to give folks a second or two to catch up there. Is that Joran TV? Thanks for the follow. See that? You can trigger it yourself in there like Janescu did. It's got a cooldown. It is not triggered automatically, though. Do we really want on init versus on initialized? Abbreviations in APIs always feel bad to me, even if they are known things like on init, says Blazer Mr. Magoo. And I can agree with that. That's definitely something that should be considered by language and framework designers. My concern is it's already a standard, and it's been out there and available for a long time. So to change it so late in the game is tough. But if you're going to change it, you got to change it now. There was another question here. Tabakarov says, and do me a favor, use the @C# Fritz handle because it'll highlight in my chat room here so I can see it, my chat monitor. Do I know who can you ping to ask about F# templates for Azure functions? Reach out to Jeff Holland. He's the program manager in charge of Azure functions, and you can he can help you out with that. Still need to watch that NDC video where Steve Sanderson puts Blazor in Flutter. Yes, and they call it Blutter. Right? I'm like, okay. So, that's definitely a thing. Does it count if I hear a donkey instead? No, doesn't count. Not at all. There's the end thens. There's an end then command too in the chat room. Don't forget that one. Good afternoon, Ancient Coder. Great to see you. Would be cool to react on a wake word. Then I would need to have like Cortana listening for that word and trigger it. We are kind of squirreled off here, yes. Okay, I get it. And then if Cortana or something listening, it could potentially trigger it. Sure, that might be something fun to build. Webforms does have on init. Yes, it's been around for a long time. It is. We would need voice recognition, absolutely. Carrie Payette is here. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Hang on. And then we're gonna break something here in a minute. Is what's gonna happen? Okay. 10 followers away from our next sticker giveaway. Oh my gosh. All right. I am kind of working on me because I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm working on it, friends. I'm working on it. I'm completely distracted now. Completely distracted. Hey, Scott! Okay, what did he say? Somebody mentioned something that Scott was working on? That was from a GitHub issue, says Blazer Mr. Magoo. So, ASP.NET Core issues, components programming model. Thank you for the follow. Judo Panda Pants. Nice. Here it is. Do we really want on init versus on initialized? Abbreviations in APIs always feel bad, even if they are known things like on init. So this was opened by Ryan Nowak. He's the one of the lead engineers on the project. Are we sure it's worth providing sync and async versions of all our lifecycle methods, set parameters? We don't expose any lifecycle methods related to iHandle events, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this was a discussion that was opened June 26th, and they decided to make those changes. Okay. So thanks for sharing that. That's great. Let me look back up here. Give me just a second here. DevLead says, let me find it. It says, Hanselman posted a Hello World JS the other day on Twitter megabytes. So I did a 68K ASM one, 1296 bytes, source code including comments. Nice. Yeah. Steve Sanderson said whatever. Yeah. Very whatever, right? Like, you know, at their level, whatever, you know? So, yeah, there's also other places that use an init. So, I'm okay with changing it over. It's just so late in the game, it feels like a miss at the opening of it. So, Yes, Carrie Payette can break things. Oh, she can break things. Be very, very careful. Let's drop it. Can somebody drop a shout out to Carrie in the chat room? She's another one of the live coders. You can find out all about the live coders. Click that link just below here, or you can execute the live coders command in chat. 66 developers that are writing code, teaching live right here on Twitch. And I've got some big things planned. I've got some thank yous that I'm going to be sending out to our friends on the live coders team at TwitchCon. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be terrific. I'm so excited, and they know about it. They see it in our private team Discord, and it is so cool. All right, so there were some changes in the names there. You know what? Let's just start pushing things over, right? I'm going to end up having to change some of these. Let's get the compiler to help us change these, you know? Let's let the compiler throw the errors and say, oh, this doesn't work anymore. This is different now. So I'm going to go back over to Visual Studio. I had it open. There it is. And so there it is. We have a project build properties sitting out here. Let me check my source code version that I'm running here locally before I go too much further. Okay, I'm in my dev branch. Make sure I've got the latest version. Good. Okay. So what happens here is we have these build properties that will automatically allow us to set the version of ASP.NET Core in each of our projects because they all reference this variable that's shared. Thank you, Ancient Coder, for the help with that. That ID and class thing might get you too. Oh yeah, it's going to get us. He's going to get us. All right, so the new version that we have here isn't 3.0 Preview 7, right? If I go back over here, it is now 3.0 Preview 8, 19.405, blah, 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 blah. Well, now I can put it in one place, right? And this variable, this property, ASP.NET Core version, is included because this directory build props says include that, and this is included inside of our ASP.NET projects. So here it's going to replace that variable, right? That with the ASP.NET Core version that's over here. So by replacing it in the one place, it'll fix it everywhere here. We're probably going to have to fix these preview 7s on these ones. But I'm going to do a quick save here. Let's force a rebuild, and let's see if we can make that update happen. Hey, Frank, what's your question about? What? 9 followers to go. And we'll give out a sticker pack. I love seeing a high sentiment over there. Look at that, 75.5. That feels so good. I love seeing a happy chat room, right? You found Codebase Alpha, the live coder, the other day. Yeah, Codebase Alpha is terrific. Absolutely. Thank you for the follow, Singing Mexican. Welcome. I appreciate you joining us. So here's our first set of issues, right? And look at this. On init, async, on init. Okay, we've got a layouts issue here we're going to need to fix. And yeah, of course, you can't find the DLL because it didn't build, you turkey. So let's see if we can click through into these and fix some of these real quick. So I just double clicked on that, and there it is. This should now be on initialize async. Now why isn't it on initialize async, right? That should be a thing, right? Yeah, that should be a thing. Not quite sure why I'm still getting a red underline there. I'm going to pin my error list here, right? So I can just scroll through this and grab the next one.
Pride wing C# clip pride wing C# do the thing.
Do the thing! Thank you so much for that cheer, Carrie. 142 bits. Yeah, we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. Why'd that go all the way off my screen like that? You know what? I will make that change right here. On initial. I'm a developer. I don't know how to spell. Okay. Let's put that shear right here. There we go. 142. And today's the 15th. There we go. Thanks so much. Let's keep scrolling through here. Yes. Initialized? Where do you see initialized? On initialized. Oh, crumbs. See that? And I'm not getting the IntelliSense to complete that either. Right? Now I am. It's kind of annoying that it's not doing it right there. But let's see, is that going to go away? Go away, red line. Initialized. Yeah, there we go. Up here, where was it? On initialized async. Okay. And that's fixed. This one, right? Yeah, I wish I could. Initialized, right? This should go to base on initialized. So that should take care of that. And look at this. Because Visual Studio is recompiling in the background, it's cleaning up my error list as I go. Now I'm down to 5 errors. And 2 of these are, well, I couldn't find the DLL that I was supposed to reference. This one's in my availability. That model on init async. Well, hang on. Availability dot on init async. No. That should have gone away. Dayview on init. No, we cleared that up. These should be clearing out here. And it's not. Component base. Right, so this should be on initialized. And you can see the keystrokes I'm doing to trigger some of this IntelliSense up here. This is called Karnak that's showing my keystrokes. Alright. I'm going to try rebuilding and see if that triggers, see if that fixes. Yeah, Mario coins to SMAB. Absolutely, right? For some reason, the Mario coins still lag here. Hey, Code Warrior. Good to see you. You heard that TTS voice on some other stream. Could you tell what it is? What TTS? That's Stream Elements is the text-to-speech that I use. I always thought it meant initialized and not initialized. That's why it shouldn't be shortened. See that? Well, because it's a past, right? It's this already happened thing. I don't know. Okay. And I've got a couple new errors here around type or namespace layouts does not exist. So did something change around layouts? There we go. Remove use of Microsoft ASP.NET Core component layouts. Great. Where is it then? If it's not here, where's my layout stuff? You know what I mean? Like, give me a solution. What should I be using instead? So I double clicked on that, and now what? Am I missing an assembly reference? No. So that's imported, isn't it? Isn't it? This one. What happens if I just get rid of that? Does that clear these up? In the using statements. Gone. I know, right? Where did it go instead? All right, so that cleared out all of those. HTTP client does not contain a definition for get JSON async. And cannot convert from string to system IO binary reader. Okay, so there's some HTTP client updates. Right, here we go. Apps that make use of the JSON helpers add a package reference to Microsoft ASP.NET Core Blazor HTTP client. Don't mind if I do. So, several ways you can add a package reference. I'm going to go to the package manager console and do it with PowerShell. So, I'm here in... This should be in the Fritz. I want to be in the web client project, and I'm going to Install. That's a really small font. And install that package. No. I think you're lying to me, friends. I think you're lying. And now I'm sad. You make me sad. What happened? Why can't I do that? Let's do it with the user interface then. I'll show you. Nope, doesn't exist. Include pre-release. Ah, there it is. It's because I forgot the pre. Yeah, I forgot to specify preview. There we go. All right, so that should help with some of these. Should. It's installed now, and it's actually telling me... Okay. Let's force a rebuild and see if we get some things removed from our error list here. It's still building, still building. Thank you for the host. Does it just work by magic now? Looks like it. Hey, look at that, build succeeded. It doesn't mean it's going to work necessarily, but it works. Maybe. We'll see. Let's force a rebuild of the entire solution and see if it clears up all the errors we had. See that I'm drinking a blue flavor and a blue color, and the chroma key is taking that blue and removing it so you see black going through my beverage there. Fancy. Yes, so there were some HTTP client changes. Let's take a look at what those were. Everything built and succeeded. Okay. Well, it looks like they just refactored the location of those. In Blazor apps, update component parameters to be public, as non-public component parameters now result in an error. That's a problem. That's a problem. Oh boy. Right? So, everywhere that I have... Let me do a find and replace here. Everywhere that I have a parameter... It's not a regular expression. It's... No. There we go. So these are all the parameters that we have out there. These all need to be made public. Yeah, look at that. Should be public. Good. Do it. It doesn't have a quick fix for me. And now you feel sad. Would be nice if there was a Roslyn Analyzer quick fix with that would just make the parameter public, right? Because Roslyn quick fixes, you can actually, in Visual Studio, tell it, everywhere you see this problem, apply the same change, right? That's something, we learned that with our friend Jason Bach when he joined us, and we learned about Roslyn Analyzers in C#. Gosh, that was a while ago that we had Jason join us. But you can find that in the archive over on YouTube. We need a broken glass emoji. Nah. Blazor Mr. Magoo is saying you'll get warnings, you won't get errors. That's what this says. All right. Element ref has been renamed to element reference. Let's see if we have that. I don't think I have any element refs in the application right now. Nope, we're good. Remove backing field declarations when using @ref or specify ref suppress field. I don't think I do that anywhere. I'm positive I don't do that anywhere. Update calls to component-base.invoke to component-base-invoke async. Update uses of parameter collection to use parameter view. I think I started to use that. President Not Sure says maybe there's an FX Cop analyzer for that. Well, that's where, right, where Roslyn analyzers do the same thing as FX Cop, right? You can install these Roslyn analyzers and they'll run and give you appropriate messages. Wanted, good to see you. How's it going? All right. So, everything compiled. We could run this and see if it actually runs. But I think we also need to update Entity Framework as well. There's updates about the templates, case-sensitive component binding. We're going to get burned here. Because onClick now is all caps. Is Pascal case like that. Camel case. Pascal case, camel case. I get those backwards. I wanted to take a look at the other references that we had here for SQLite, SQL Server, and tools. I don't like that I have to reference SQL Server, even though I'm not using SQL Server. That feels... That feels messy, you know? Camel. Yeah, Pascal is the one I'm thinking of. All right. Here we go. So we have preview 8 versions for all of these that we can apply. So I'm going to select all of them and say update. And let it just blow through and update all of them. All in one shot here. There we go. Nice. Now everything's updated. Cool. Let's try to build again. Make sure that works. And the @ sign is gone before click. Says Ancient Coder. Yeah. I feel like we've gone back and forth on that one. Well, button is a... button is a... yeah, a component. Right? Yeah. I think you're right. It's onClick on components and @ onClick on markup. I think. So they can differentiate between JavaScript onClick and C# onClick. It's going to be a little bit painful to convert, but you kind of opt into a little bit of pain when you're using a preview version of the tools. It's exclamation point and that programming language's name, and you'll get that to trigger. There it is. Yeah. Oh yeah. See that? It makes people smile when funny things like that happen on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Is that Brillin150? Great to see you. And I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, Brillin. Yeah, you're gonna get me next time, Frank. I know. Let's actually run the application now. I don't like having it run under IIS. I like having it run with the Kestrel web server directly. This is the ASP.NET managed web server. So I'm going to run this directly here and see if it works. So we can go through and figure out what else we need to fix. I said it perfectly. Well, thank you, Brillin. Great to see you. Love the Pikachus there. All right. Let me try logging in. I'm going to log in with... okay, that's fine, I guess. You've got it on the clipboard just in case. Hey, Brave Cobra. And I think I made my password that. And now I feel shame. Yes, apply the migrations. Try refreshing the page. Don't mind if I do. So that tells me that, oh yeah, we cleared out our database last time, didn't we? Rats. So I need to register. email is jeff@jeffreyfritz. And we'll do that. And we'll do that. Register. Now we need the other one. There we go. Now, if I go to availability... No. I don't have a shame command. Alright, now we gotta go through and figure out what happened here. Value cannot be null. Source. Build render tree. Yes. I don't know what broke. In dayview.razer. Yes. Okay, so let's go to dayview.razer here. Right, and I wish it would give me a little bit more information about, right, what value cannot be null. Right? Parameter name source. Great, it's the source of this where.
Oh my.
I know. Dayview Razer line 35. Here. Okay, so that tells me we also need to say end time slots dot time slots does not equal null, and actually no, I just need to do that. Okay, let's try that again. Rebuild. Sad tuba, your favorite sound effect, and then sad trombone, of course, follows, right? So, and I keep my insults right here. There's more end thens. Yep. Did we have an episode on identity server? We did not. We should do one. There we go. That works now. We've still got an issue in here. Dayview Razer 103. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. All right, so let's go back over. Dayview down on 103 here. It's that right there. Well, I think we got rid of having to iterate through the time slots because we started getting those from the model. So I don't think we need this anymore. So we wrote this to do a little bit of debugging here. I don't think I need it anymore. Nor do we need this one. Which means everywhere that it references time slots, and notice it isn't giving me the errors in the gutter. They are down here though. Model.myScheduleState time slots. There it goes. So I can just put that right there. That'll do. Try that again, see what we get here. You love when sad trombone went off during the workday due to regular database maintenance, though. Oh, man. Trying to set up an identity server to mock out auth 0. There's a couple different ways you should be able to do that, to mock out authentication. There we go. So that works. That looks appropriate there for this page. And the manager report, that was where we left off, working and trying to get this working. And yeah, we needed to fix Dayview over here. Deleting code is wonderful, says Entity Adam. Deleting code is the best thing you can do for all your developer team members. The more you know. So we need to fix this bit here. The Odin Hassan suggests that the error is not helpful. I'm kind of agreeing with you, Odin, but I mean the first two entries here on the stack, you're right. At least the first one isn't helpful. This is the one that's helpful, right? The stack is kind of coming out ugly here. I'd almost rather see it as one error, and in that error, when I expand it, is the stack. But I'm getting the JavaScript stack here, right? Look at all that! Look at all that! Ugh. Ugh. I don't want to see that, right?
And you blew it!
Oh, I said JavaScript and I blew it, yes. TBD Gamer says, if you have no unit test, deleting code is not wonderful for your career. Yeah, good point. Good point. Not sure if other WASM-based frameworks face the same issue. You might be onto something there. And President Not Sure says, null ref exception, everybody take a drink. Because we're going to be getting rid of null ref exceptions when C# 8 hits. They're going to be eliminated from how we work with our code. Okay. So here, this is Dayview Razer line 10. Object reference not set to an instance of an object.
Oh my.
Yeah, you know what? Before we fix that, let's put together a pull request. Let's put together a commit that says updated to preview 8. Okay? Jeez. Okay. So let's and we'll say updated to preview 8. All right. I'll sign that commit. Hey. Push it to my version of the repository. There we go. Is that PowerShell? Yes, it is. Meshuggah. This is PowerShell running posh git here, so that I get some of the indications of the state of my Git repository. Okay, so we've updated. It sure looks like it works. We could probably still test and make sure that all this works properly. I'm going to assume, see what I did there? That it works properly. And I'm going to roll over to fixing this bit here. The Dayview build render tree. Dayview Razer line 10 has an object reference not set to an instance of an object. Let's see if we can figure out what that is. Back to Visual Studio. So Dayview line 10. Dayview line 10. Where did?
Right.
Thank you. That doesn't feel right. So is that model.dayCount doesn't exist? What is it that doesn't exist? Right? Model.dayDisplay had to be true in order to come through to this. So this manager, let's get rid of these. We don't need these anymore. Get rid of the imports. So dayDisplay is true. Okay. DayCount is 7. So DayCount is right here. Return model.dayCount, model.dayCount equals value. So that should be a thing, right? Hey, Kasukin, good to see you. Can I remove anything inside the curly braces, the line 10? Remove the whole span. Remove the whole span. I bet you... No. I don't think it's a caps issue. But I see what you're saying. Just Can we just clear this out for right now? You're not going to comment it out for me. Are you? So, the @star will allow you to do block level commenting in Razer templating and Blazor components as well. So let's see what that does. Marcus, voice programmer. Is it because I emptied the database? Well, this is just doing a for each across, not a for each, but a for across counting the days, just so it paints a grid. We're not quite there yet. You might be onto something, but I don't think we're there yet. Oh, look at that. All right. All right. So Odin was onto something here. That worked. That didn't. We're going to need to fix those. We're going to want to turn those into buttons, aren't we? But it laid out the grid. Okay. So something in here. Well, column counter is a thing. That should still work.
Oh my.
I know. I know. Column counter is a thing. That should be okay. Model my schedule state. Display begin date. Well, what's... My schedule state should be coming in like there. Okay. Display begin date. That's got a get set on it, which tells me that it doesn't have anything on it. I don't like these methods with nothing in them. All commented out. We're going to need to clean that up. So somewhere this is being set. And I don't know where. I see the question there in chat. Let me come to that in just a second. I want to try and figure this out. Know what I mean? Somewhere it's deciding what display begin date is inside of my schedule state. So here in the view model for day view, that was going to kill me that it was not lined up quite right. So there's my schedule state that's being passed in. Think this through, Jeff. Think this through. Where are those being set? There's 4 references to them. Manager schedule view. Okay, there it is being set on parameter set async. So these should be firing and setting the display begin date and display end date. Optimal 475 asks, I have no knowledge of any programming. What is the stuff I need to learn before getting into ASP.NET Core? Also, I'm interested in the naming convention many of us use, like fritz.resourcemanagement.web. What does that name refer to, and why is it named that way? Not a problem, Optimal. Please, anybody, feel free to ask any question here in the chat room. We've got a lot of folks that can help out with answering those, and I'm happy to chime in here as well. Yep, Steve Smith, he's Ardalis. You can find him. He's another live coder here on the team. Usually live streaming on Friday mornings, if I remember. Yeah, I think you're right, Brave Cobra, but let me answer the question here, and I'll come back to that. So ASP.NET Core, you're going to need to learn a little bit of C#. You're going to need to learn a little bit of HTML. Maybe a little bit of, dare I say, JavaScript. Horses love JavaScript. And that's an ongoing gag here, in case you haven't seen. And maybe even some CSS, so you can style some things. So there's a lot of different things that kind of mash together to make a web application. Why we name things with this namespace: Fritz, resource management, web client, view models. This helps us keep our objects neat and tidy in different locations in memory so that we can find them. I name all of my projects. I start with my name, Fritz, right up front. The next thing is usually, well, what's that application? What's that system that we're building for? This is the resource management application that we're working on. And we use that then to identify, well, this is the project that Fritz started for resource management, right? Which is people scheduling. Next, I have web client. You see I have web over here. I have scheduling. Let me open that up. Scheduling for this project here. Here's domain. These are the individual parts that identify the various components of the solution that are going to act together. Domain are our domain objects, the things in our business domain that we're going to reference everywhere in the application, in the system, let's call it. Scheduling, this is where I'm going to put the stuff that works on schedules, that actually operates and is the calculators, if you will, for working with schedule information. Web, this is what's going to be on our web server. This will run and deliver and calculate and interact with the database. Web client is what's going to be compiled and run inside the browser. This is that Blazor component there. And finally, I've got test.scheduling. This is a bunch of unit tests that we write. So tests, so we know that they're tests. And scheduling, it's to help test the scheduling components. So that's where that comes from, and we use this namespace syntax to define this is where this object lives. And you'll also see the namespace grows and gets components added to it depending on what folder it is in our project. Once again, it's to help us keep things neat and tidy so that we can find them when we need to reference them. Let me come back to that last comment. Breakpoint we could set, yes. It's set only when a day is selected, right? So we're going to need to find that. Odin Hassan with the... I have that. No. I don't know what that was in reference to, but I'm going to hit it. Brave Cobra says, I need to clip those "you're right" comments so you can use them on your bot. Confirmation is so important for some people, apparently. Tell you what, ready? I'll give you a clean cut here. Hang on. Pause the music. Pause the music so that we can get it nice and clean. Okay? And we're right at the beginning of the song, too. You're right, Brave Cobra. All right, there you go. Clip that. Do with it as you'd like. I mentioned it. No, so then you're right. Ancient Coder. Use the exclamation point JavaScript. And the horses will come running. Well, not really running. It'd be nice if I had a GIF of them running across the screen when that happens. That'd be funny. So to your question, Optimal 475. I hope that clears things up about how we use namespaces and where some of these naming conventions come from. It's to help us keep things a little bit tidy. Just as a side note, Optimal, so that it's to answer the follow-up question. Thank you for the "Oh my Copper Beardy," and I appreciate the follow, Optimal. You'll see folks in Java use a very similar technique, but they'll start off with almost a reverse domain name. So you'll see things like com, right? They do namespaces. I forget how they do their namespace, what the prefix is, what the keyword is in Java. But you'll see it something like this, where it's like the domain name for your website at the beginning. And then they would do resource management. And it's typically lowercase in Java, if I remember correctly. Right? And so it's this reverse domain name, typically starting with com for Java namespaces. But in JavaScript, yeah, Odin, that's a great instance, a great sample of it. Yeah. com.businessname or in my case, it would, right, since I'm at csharpfritz.com, I would do com.csharpfritz is where you can find my blog and more information about my projects. So, Stream Deck plugin name syntax. Yes. Are any of Mrs. Fritz's horses called JavaScript? No. No. Her horse is actually named Trace. I didn't name it. If I had named it, I would have called it Debug. Is this a web project? Yes, it is, Meshuggah. Yes. Absolutely. Great. Answered questions. So, all right. Let me move on here. I didn't change anything in that file, so I'm not going to save it. So, Brave Cobra was right. The only time that date is set is when on parameter set async, but that should trigger on initialize also. You know? This also needs to be converted. Well, wait a sec. No, that needs to be converted, doesn't it? Right? To the new syntax like that. But that doesn't look... Can I show it? Yeah, we're running it frequently here. We'll kick it off here in just a second. But display begin date has a value when this is rendered. That is rendered. Well, yeah. So if I run this, right? Seeing how all the C# jobs out there are for .NET developers, I might need to sharpen up your skills, says Andre. Save your soul. Yeah, it's a good thing that there's a lot of jobs for all kinds of different technologies. You know, take your pick. What makes you happy, and go after it. You know, pursue it. C# makes me happy. So happy I made it my handle. Which makes it really weird when you sit with the language team and you're C# Fritz. It's like, Can I guarantee the order of rendering? No. I can't. Right, but maybe I can do something like... And it's not, right? This should be erroring out also here. And it's not. It's in the day view that it errors out, right? So at this point, it has it. And if I go back over to day view view model, we should have been injected and have the same display begin date. Let's do this. Let me comment that back out. Can I just undo? I can. Fantastic. All right, so let's model my schedule state, display begin date. Sure, just drop it there. I don't care. I want to see what it looks like. Yes, we did do some F# Fridays, and I need to get back into that at some point. So here's our website, right? And this is running Blazor. If I go over here to the network, for those of you that haven't seen this, right, it's reloading. It's downloading DLLs and running these in the browser. You can even scroll up and you'll see here's Mono. There's the Mono library as some JavaScript to bootstrap and load the actual runtime as WebAssembly code, this mono.wasm you see here. All of our DLLs run on top of that Mono WASM. They get bootstrapped and run right there. Yes, I said it. Oh, you got me again. So let me look at the console now. Right? So, yeah. It's choking here. What happens if I put a question mark on that? Do I get that? Do I pass the model to the day view component? It's injected, right? So that's going to be injected by our dependency injection container. There's one instance of the model being maintained throughout the application. So okay. That was here. So that's telling me that my schedule state is empty, is null. So the model is day view view model. There's my schedule state. Is there not a constructor in here? There isn't a constructor. Do you see my problem? Do you see it, friends? It's a parameter right there. Yeah. Yeah. It's because we don't have a constructor to receive that. Data, schedule state. I'll call it that. This dot my schedule state equals schedule state. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the follow, Andre. Appreciate the follow. And we are, this says we're 5 followers away, but the number on Twitch says 8 followers away. I gotta go by the one on Twitch. That should work now. Is there data in the database? We're just iterating over data at this point. We're not iterating over data in the database. We're just looking at dates at this point, making sure that that state is being passed around. There. That worked. It's now injecting it properly. Because it's there now. So if I go back over here, not that one. There. Right, so here where we commented it out, right, we identified that it wasn't loading properly. So we'll uncomment it and then fire it again, and we should get some scheduled data there. So how do I prevent this from happening? Well, we had parameters that were allowed to be null, and they shouldn't be null, right? There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so my manager view works, right? Like, not works as a interesting term here. It loads, and I've got my nice grid here that we can start digging into. No end then! Absolutely. Do we need a bazinga? Do we need a bazinga? I can do that. Bazinga. Gotta add those C# features. That would help. I don't think it would necessarily take care of this one. Because, right, the property in the view model.
Great Scott!
Yeah. This can be null. Right? I could have turned it into a field, and then we can put the not nullable, but I feel like, yeah, I'm not sure. There's ways to get back to it. Love seeing the emotes flying by. I gotta fix these buttons here. These ones don't do the right thing. Right now I put anchors here to navigate back and forth so you can look at different weeks. And they don't actually work properly because they link instead of doing navigation. So let's fix that real quick, right? It says ahref. It's not actually navigating. which makes it annoying. Raise an argument exception in the constructor if passed null. No, there's always going to be one. That's it. The problem, right, was we had a property that was never assigned. Right? If you look at this, model my schedule state, return. There's a set on it on the outside. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Our friend Ash Caravan is here. I'm gonna totally freak out. Hey Ash, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Svava says, what mischief? Oh, our friend... Yeah, our friend Svava Blount is preparing to move. And a super moderator, Svava Blount, is preparing to move. More power to her. It is not... is moving right now. Oh my goodness. It's interesting that it's... Well, there's the constructor piece that I just added. But it was never assigning a value to the schedule state. Right? Yeah. If it was passed in, it would have been set. But it's not being passed in. And actually, I don't think this is being used. So it was never being set. It was just, right, we should have seen some sort of an error that it was never set. Currently driving. Svava's currently driving, not Ash. Oh my goodness. And Svava drives so fast that...
They've gone to Plaid.
To Plaid. No, I'm kidding, of course. So, all right, let me see here. So that's that fixed that little bit. Now I need to fix these back and forth buttons so that I can have this grid, right? Go and say, show me last week or show me next week when I click these arrows appropriately. It might even be nice to have some sort of a drop down here so I can skip forward to, like, September. Just go all the way to September so you're not clicking this button and waiting for it to come back. No, Brave Cobra, I see the confusion there, why you might think that it was Ash that was driving and not Svava driving. So I want to change these, I think, to buttons instead of anchors, right? Which means I don't have an href, right? What am I getting here? Found markup with the unexpected name. Consider add using directive for its namespace. Well, don't mind if I do. But what's the using directive for it? Is it, well, I thought I had... I thought it was in the forms. It's not in the forms? I thought it was in the forms. Right? Let's go see if we can find out where that's coming from. So this is a Blazor button component. See if we can find out where that's supposed to be coming out of. Button is now case sensitive. Okay, well, I did uppercase. Right, if I go back over here. Right. Button on click. Right, that's the error I got. Great, what's it supposed to be? Well, that worked. If we instead try to name our component lowercase button, we get a warning that components cannot start with. Right. That's what I did. It looks good to me. Right, if I'm reading that documentation properly, right? That's what I put in my code. What say you, chat room? Otherwise, you'll need ARIA Live and extra testing. Never worked for me, so I assume other people don't use it either. But then again, you're not other people. I'm going to build and see if this thing fails. Let's see what the compiler says. No, it says the same thing. Right. Okay, so what's the using that it should be in? Oh, wait a sec. This is a button component that it created here. And it's referencing it down there. Oh, I see what this is. Which means I need to turn this to at on click. That's what's going on with that. Now we go. Yeah, it was looking for a component. I thought that was a component that already existed in the forms. But no, that's not a component that gets delivered for us. We have to go build our own button component if we want one. I don't need a button component. I just need an HTML button, all right? Button. I'm going to say the word button a couple more times. There they are. There's the buttons. And it still doesn't work. What the heck? Button. No, do that thing. Do it. Go. Shazam! I know it's not doing the thing. Model.onChangeDate -7. Okay, so onChangeDate. You make me sad. Come on! Okay, there should be an onChangeDate method here. There it is. Bazinga. Okay, this selected date equals this selected date add days to change. That should work. That should work. So, why isn't it? Kablam! I know, right? Model on change date -7. We're saying go back 7 days, go forward 7 days. But is the Lambda signature correct? Yeah, that's a correct Lambda signature. Yeah. Right? Right? Or I can change this around and go like this. See, now I get it bolded like that instead of the gray background. So do I need to put it in parentheses like that? That feels weird. Right? I thought we could do that. Component does not support complex contact. Mix C# and markup. Well, I don't want that. Okay. So if I just put the extra parens on that, does that do the thing? I mean, that looks better now. Right? That looks like I'm adding extra parentheses just for grouping and ugliness. Ugh. Is the Lambda okay?
Leviani just resubscribed for 10 months. First year incoming. Stay calm and keep coding. Smile.
Thanks so much, Leviani. I appreciate the resub. 10 months. That is phenomenal. It's going to keep you in a green hat badge. Thank you very much for staying with us. And we'll see you in the chat room and make another donation to Coder Dojo. That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for that support. That's still not working. Right? Why isn't that working? Neither one of these. Is there an event for selected date changing? Well, so I call model on change date. There it goes. Selected date equals selected date add days. I should probably tell it to... I have to tell it to repaint, don't I? I have to tell it to repaint. That there was an on-property changed that occurred, and I need to repaint the Blazor. A link with nested routing. Ooh. That might be interesting, actually, the more I think about that. That might be interesting. Yeah, I could add it to the Lambda in here, right? I need to state has changed, right? And I need to use curly braces here because now it's multiple statements. State has changed. And it should repaint the browser. These should go away. Because I finished typing that. There it goes. On change date, the state has changed. Yes. I like, in Ecomath, I like what you're saying. Then managers can share links to specific weeks. No. State has changed isn't firing there. So let's go back to here. No, it's in. I would prefer to have it over here, but this doesn't have any pointer back to the state has changed. Oh, wait a sec. No. It's changing, it's notifying state has changed on the control, so it should reevaluate these. I don't update begin date. So we set selected date. Oh. You're right. You're right, we don't set the rest of the dates. This is Blazor asks Mobabo. Yes, it is. Mobabo? Is that a... Okay. Come back over to this. Now it does it. It's not updating the grid down here because we're not sending that information over to the grid that, hey, your date has changed. You need to be updated. But that's working. So we're almost there. I'm not going to celebrate just yet. I want to get the navigation down here to repaint, right, the things appropriately. Needs unit tests. You're right. And we can do that because we have the view models. Let me go back over to our code. So, okay, clicking the button changes the dates down there. If I go back, so here's the button controls. We want to force the day view to re-update. Well, state has changed. State has changed is actually going to trigger for the entire page, which should include the day view being refreshed. The day view where's the day view shared component? It shouldn't be up here. It's not a page. It should be over here in shared. It should be over there. Because it doesn't have a page on it. What do you mean doesn't exist? Yeah. I suspected state has changed was being fired when the button on click actually happens. So let's get rid of that. Simplify this. Need to do an event callback to refresh the component, asks Odin. I think you're onto something. But Ecomath might have the interesting solution here. When these were links, we could actually have it navigate to, instead of triggering and fire some sort of method, just have it navigate to an instance of the page that has an argument that is the display begin date and the display end date. That way then there's a link that folks can bookmark and come back to and see just that management state of the page. Blazer Mr. Magoo likes the link idea also. And it gets us out of managing the version numbers, the date here. I like that idea. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove this to do and change it to change the buttons to A tags with href that includes the begin date and end date in the route. So we use it that way. Because I have a very tight day today, very tight schedule today that I need to keep with. I'm going to take this as a to-do for next time. And I'm going to commit these changes right now. There we go. I moved DayView over here. Why did DayView... Why am I getting inject doesn't exist? That would render the whole page instead of the update the relevant components only. But the whole page is what's being updated. It would need to go fetch the data anyway and re-render all those components. So, right? I mean, when you click one of these buttons, it's going to change these dates, and it's going to change the dates and the data that get loaded into the day view down here. In this case, it is... I mean, okay, yeah, it doesn't need to refresh the nav bar at the top, and it actually won't, because it'll be inside of the Blazor component, not the entire web page. But why didn't this inject? Right? Is that just... There it goes. It's because I moved it. Wasn't thrilled about what was going on there. But this... Yeah, I need to clean my solution. And those should update appropriately. Because they're in a new namespace now. Right? Rebuild and that should fix. Fix. All this generated code. There you go, the red lines went away. Cool. Alright. I'm going to... Yep. Let's add everything. Let's commit. And we'll call this fixing the manager view. And we'll pick up with this tomorrow. Darn it. There we go. "12 a.m. in Malaysia." Well, Odin, thanks so much for tuning in. My gosh, I really appreciate you sticking around so late. All the code's pushed into my private GitHub repository, and we can work on that again tomorrow. So we upgraded our application to ASP.NET Core 8. That was really painless. We just had some syntax updates that were pretty easy to go through, find and replace. We had some code that we had to adjust that wasn't that significant. I was pretty happy with how painless it was to update. We're almost done fixing our manager view here. We figured out our issues with events here, and we made it a little bit easier to work with. And I'm really looking forward to cleaning up this last bit of that day view. I like the idea of using the links to reference each instance, each weak instance of the manager view, so managers can share links that point directly to which version of it, of the manager grid they're working on. Is that Latjor? Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. But I'm wrapping up here, and we're going to set up for our raid. So I'm going to put the raid command there in chat while we figured out who we're going to raid. If you're a subscriber, go ahead and grab the top line out of there. Copy it onto your clipboard so that you can announce our presence when we get to our raid target here. We're going to send everybody over to, you know who we haven't raided in a while? Let's raid Code Rushed. There we go. This is our friend Mark Miller. He's working on, it looks like he's working on he's working on some TypeScript and some C# projects over there on his channel. So if you're a subscriber, grab that top line of text, copy it onto the clipboard, and if you're not, grab that second line of text, copy it onto the clipboard so we can announce our presence when we get over to Mark's channel. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. This is always a pleasure to write code and have you join me here on the stream. And I will see you tomorrow. We're getting really close to that next milestone here. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follows as we're closing out. And I will see you next time. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC, and evidently really, really late in Malaysia. Thanks so much for joining us, Odin. All right, let's get ready to say hello to our friend Code Rush, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.